God's plan. God's plan. I hold back sometimes.
What's up, y'all? Back in another class, math talk with Mr. Faison, and I'm Mr. Faison, or Mr. Faison. As long as you know, today we doing decimals. We multiplying decimals, right? As you can tell, man, I'm not here to play, man. I got my little polo button to the top, man. It's time to get to it. So you already know, I'm throwing these gloves on. Get your pencil and paper together, and let's get started, all right? I showed you the form that they might give it to you in, right? You might see it in this form, or you might see it in this form, right? But when I see it in this form originally, I'll turn around and I'll change it to this form. So sometimes when people see decimals, they get intimidated, and sometimes when they see multiplication, they get intimidated. So to see them two things together, sometimes it just causes chaos in people's minds sometimes. But let me show you how we slide through this nice, easy, and smooth. Cool. We have this multiplication problem, but it has decimals inside of it. The main thing you need to understand is don't even pay attention to the decimals, right? As we start this problem, we're not even gonna pay attention to the decimals. We'll worry about it at the end of the problem. So right now, we're just gonna multiply it how we would normally multiply a problem. All right, so first what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this 4 and multiply by everything up top, okay? So 4 times 4 is 16. I'm gonna put that 6 right there, but I'm gonna carry the 1 up top, okay? Now I'm gonna do 4 times 2, but we just carried the 1. So now we have to add that 1 with it. So 4 times 2 plus 1 will give me 9, okay? Now we're gonna do 4 times 1. 4 times 1 is 4. So next we're gonna do, we're gonna move over to the 0, and we have to multiply this 0 by everything up top. But before we do that, I want you to drop down to this next level, to this next row, and we're gonna add a placeholder. And that placeholder, we're just gonna make it a 0 right there. Also, before we do that, we wanna remove this 1 because we don't need it anymore, okay? We don't wanna get confused. 0 times 4 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. 0 times 1 is 0. Now, we move over to the final number, this last 0. And we're gonna multiply that by everything up top. But before we do that, we're dropping down to the third row, and we have to add 2 placeholders. Okay? So we're gonna do 0 times 4, which is 0. 0 times 2, which is 0. 0 times 1, which is 0. And we're gonna add all of this up. This is just how we would do normal multiplication if we had big numbers. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna add everything up. 6 plus 0 is 6. 9 plus 0 is 9. 4 plus 0 is 4. 0 and 0, and that's 0, right? Now we can worry about the decimal. How do we fit the decimal into our final answer? The way we do that is, I come to this one right here, and I count over and see how many spaces the decimal went in. It went in 1 space. And I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna see how many spaces in did the decimal go. It went in 1, 2. So, in the top and the bottom, it went in a total of 3 spaces. What I'm gonna do is come down here and I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3. And my answer will be, that would be my answer. All right, so if you're still having a little trouble with it, that's cool. We're gonna jump over to problem number 2, and let's see what they're talking about. Once again, I wrote it in the form that you might see, but when I do see it in this form, I turn around and I write it in this form, okay? So let's get started. The same rules apply. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this 5 and multiply by everything up top first, okay? 5 times 2 is 10. Put the 0 here and carry the 1. 5 times 6 is 30. Plus 1 is going to give me 31. So I'll put the 1 there and I'll put the 3 up here. All right? 5 times 9 is 45. Plus 3 is 48. All right? Now what I do is I'm going to drop down to this next row. And I'm going to go ahead and get my placeholder started. Because I know next I have to do this 0 times everything up top. And remember, we removed this. We're going to remove that. Because we don't want to get confused and add extra numbers. So, 0 times 2 is 0. 0 times 6 is 0. 0 times 9 is 0. Okay? I'm going to go to this next 0 and multiply by everything up top. But I have to first put a placeholder. Now I'm going to have to put 2 placeholders. So I'm going to do 0 times 2, which is 0. 0 times 6, which is 0. 0 times 9, which is 0. Next, I'm going to multiply 1 times everything up top. But first, I have to put some more placeholders. Now I'm going to put 3 placeholders. And what I'm going to do is just 1 times everything up top. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 9 is 9. And now we're going to add all of this up. So I'm gonna do all these zeros, it's gonna equal 0. 1 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is still 1. 8 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is still 8. 4 plus 0 plus 0 plus 2 is gonna give me 6. 0 plus 6 is gonna give me 6. We got 9. Now, remember, we wasn't worried about the decimal the whole time, but now we're concerned about the decimal because we need to put it into our final answer. So what we have to do is come here, and I want to see how many spaces in did this decimal go. 1, 2. It went in twice. It went in 2 times. Here, it goes in 1, 2, 3. It goes in 3 times. So when as a total, it went in 5 times. Meaning, I'm gonna start right here and I'm gonna move in 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my answer is gonna be 9.66810. That'll be my answer. So as you can see in this problem originally, you don't have to line up your decimals. There's no need to line up your decimals because we're not really paying attention to the decimals to the very end of the problem. All right? Well, y'all, hey man, that's another episode of Math Talk with Mr. Faison, and we just multiplied decimals, man. I'll see y'all next time.
God's plan. God's plan.